Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to share with you one of the most powerful motivational stories you'll ever hear. A story that reminds us all to empty your mind. It's not just a phrase, it's a life lesson. It teaches us how to let go, how to learn, and how to truly live. So sit back, relax, and open your heart to this story, because by the end, you might see your life from a whole new perspective. There was once a young man who was restless, ambitious, and full of questions. He wanted to learn everything: philosophy, success, happiness, and mastery. He studied day and night, read every book he could find, and attended every lecture. But even with all his knowledge, he felt empty inside. He was frustrated because the more he learned, the more confused he became. One day, he heard about a wise old master who lived in the mountains. People said the master had the answers to life's deepest questions. The young man packed his things and began his journey. After several days of travel, he finally arrived at the master's humble home. The old man welcomed him with a gentle smile. "Master," the young man said eagerly, "I've come to learn from you. Please teach me the secrets of life and success." The old master looked at him and said, "Very well. But before I teach you anything, let's have some tea." The young man was puzzled, but agreed. The master began pouring tea into the student's cup. He kept pouring and pouring until the tea overflowed and spilled onto the table and the floor. Shocked, the young man shouted, "Stop! The cup is full. It can't hold any more." The master smiled calmly and said, "Exactly. You are like this cup, so full of your own ideas, opinions, and knowledge that nothing new can enter. Before you can learn, you must first empty your mind." The young man fell silent. For the first time, he understood what had been missing. He was too busy showing how much he knew that he never truly listened. He had been chasing wisdom, but his mind was too crowded to receive it. This moment changed him forever. He realized that to grow, he needed to let go of his pride, his judgments, and his constant need to be right. He needed to create space within himself, space for new ideas, experiences, and understanding. "Empty your mind," the master said again. "Be formless, shapeless, like water. Water can flow or crash. Be water, my friend." Those words echoed in the young man's heart. He began to understand that life is not about holding on tightly to what you know. It's about staying open, adaptable, and humble. Because the moment you think you know everything, you stop learning. And when you stop learning, you stop growing. In the days that followed, the young man practiced silence. He listened more than he spoke. He watched the world with new eyes. He realized that even simple things, a leaf falling, the sound of rain, the smile of a stranger, had lessons to teach. He learned that the mind is like a mirror. When it's cluttered with dust, ego, fear, and opinions, it can't reflect truth clearly. But when it's wiped clean, it reflects reality as it is. He began to see how his thoughts had controlled him. Every fear, every doubt, every memory had built walls inside his mind. But when he emptied his mind, those walls started to disappear. He felt lighter, freer, more alive. The master once asked him, "When you hold a full cup, can you add more to it?" The young man said no. "And when you hold on tightly to your beliefs, can you see new truths?" Again, he said no. The master smiled and said, "Then why do you cling so tightly to what you think you know? Let go, and the universe will teach you everything." The lesson was simple but profound. To truly learn, you must unlearn. To truly find peace, you must let go. To truly live, you must release control. As the young man continued his journey with the master, he realized that emptiness was not something to fear. It was something to embrace. Because in emptiness there is potential. Just as an empty cup can be filled, an empty mind can be filled with wisdom, creativity, and peace. Every morning he sat quietly and practiced stillness. Thoughts came and went, but he no longer chased them. He allowed them to pass like clouds in the sky. Slowly, he discovered a deeper awareness. He noticed how his fears faded when he stopped feeding them. He saw how his anger dissolved when he stopped reacting. He found that happiness wasn't something to achieve, it was something that already existed inside him, hidden beneath layers of noise and thought. The more he emptied his mind, the more connected he felt to himself, to nature, and to life itself. One day he asked the master, "How can I keep my mind empty when the world is so loud and full of distractions?" The master replied, "You cannot control the noise around you, but you can control how much of it you let in. When your heart is quiet, even in chaos, you remain still." The young man practiced this daily. When problems came, he no longer panicked. When people insulted him, he no longer took it personally. He had learned that peace was not the absence of chaos, but the presence of calm within it. Years passed, and the young man became wise and gentle, just like his teacher. He had learned that real strength doesn't come from power or success. It comes from stillness. It comes from knowing that you don't have to control everything to find balance. Empty your mind, he often reminded himself, because only an empty mind can be filled with the truth. He began teaching others what he had learned. People came to him with their worries, stress, and confusion. He told them stories just as the master once told him. He reminded them that life is not about collecting things or proving yourself. It's about becoming light enough to move freely through it. He told them, when your mind is full of worries, there is no space for peace. When it's full of anger, there is no room for understanding. And when it's full of ego, there is no space for love. So empty it. Let go of what doesn't serve you. Many people found comfort in his words. They began to practice mindfulness, meditation, and gratitude. Slowly, they too discovered that emptiness is not a void. It is the birthplace of transformation. The young man often walked by the river near the mountain. He watched how the water flowed effortlessly, bending around rocks, yet never losing its path. He realized that to live like water means to flow with life, not against it. There were days when life tested him, times of loss, pain, and doubt, but he remembered the master's lesson. He did not fight reality, he accepted it. He understood that every experience, whether good or bad, had something to teach him. In his heart, he carried gratitude for the master, for the journey, and for the wisdom that came from letting go. One day, as he sat under the same tree where he first met the master, he smiled and whispered to himself, "The cup is empty, and that's why it can be filled again and again." This story teaches us something timeless. Life is not about filling yourself with endless information or chasing constant achievements. It's about creating space to breathe, to grow, and to connect. We often hold on too tightly to our thoughts, fears, and identities. We say, "This is who I am," and cling to it, but life keeps changing. The river keeps flowing. If we want to move forward, we must be willing to let go of what no longer serves us. Emptying your mind doesn't mean forgetting everything. It means releasing attachment. It means allowing new experiences to shape you. It means being open to the moment, instead of being trapped by the past or anxious about the future. When you empty your mind, you make space for peace. You make space for creativity. You make space for joy, because all these things already exist within you. You just need to clear the clutter that hides them. So take a deep breath and ask yourself, what am I holding onto that no longer serves me? It could be anger, regret, fear, or pride. Whatever it is, let it go, free your heart, empty your mind, because when you do, you'll begin to see life differently. You'll listen more deeply. You'll appreciate more. You'll live with greater awareness. Remember, the cup that is already full cannot receive more, but the empty cup is limitless. It can hold anything. So, don't be afraid to be empty. Don't be afraid to start fresh, because that's where real wisdom begins. As you move forward in your life, keep this story close to your heart. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, pause, take a breath, let go of your thoughts for a moment. You don't need to have all the answers right now. You don't need to figure everything out at once. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to do nothing, to be still, to listen, to simply be. That's when the truth finds you. That's when peace fills you. That's when your mind becomes like water, calm, clear, and unstoppable. So, my friends, remember the lesson of the teacup. Empty your mind, be formless, be open, be humble. Because the more space you create within, the more life will flow through you. Thank you so much for watching. If this story inspired you, share it with someone who needs it today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more motivational stories that will help you grow and live with purpose. And always remember, peace begins the moment you decide to empty your mind.